Have you ever noticed how every generation believes they've finally figured money out, only to end up struggling with the exact same problem in a completely different form? One generation believed wealth meant owning the biggest house possible. Another believed success looked like upgrading their lifestyle every time they got a raise. Another chased experiences because traditional wealth felt impossible to reach. And now, an entire generation is trying to look financially successful online before they've actually built financial security in real life. Different decades, different habits, same trap. And the scary part? Most people never even realize they're in it. Because from the inside, it doesn't feel irresponsible. It feels normal. It feels deserved. It feels like progress. So in this video, I want to tell you about 4 people. 4 different generations, 4 completely different lives, and how every single one of them slowly walked into the same financial trap without realizing it. But before we start, if you enjoy videos that break down money, psychology, and real-life financial habits in plain English, subscribe to the channel. Most people spend years learning these lessons the hard way. My goal is to help you spot them early. Now let's begin. Let me introduce you to Daniel. Daniel is 68 years old. He worked hard his entire life. Stable job, good neighborhood, beautiful home in the suburbs, 2 kids, a long marriage. If you looked at Daniel from the outside, you'd probably say he won at life. And honestly, for a while, he did. Then there's Melissa. Melissa is 52. She has a successful marketing career, drives a nice car, takes vacations every year, and has spent most of her adult life climbing the corporate ladder. Her life looks polished, put together, successful. Then there's Ethan. Ethan is 38. He spent years paying off student loans while watching housing prices fly out of reach. So instead of buying property, he spent money on things that made life feel worth living. Trips, restaurants, concerts, weekend escapes, memories. And finally, there's Ava. She's 24. She listens to finance podcasts. She invests every month. She knows what compound interest is. She follows investing creators online. And compared to previous generations at her age, she's probably the most financially aware person in her family's history. 4 people, 4 decades, 4 completely different financial realities. And yet, every single one of them fell into the exact same trap. Not a similar trap. Not a loosely connected trap, the exact same one, just dressed differently depending on the decade they grew up in. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's what the trap actually is. At some point, every generation gets sold a picture of what doing well is supposed to look like. Not directly. Nobody sits you down and explains it. You absorb it naturally. Through culture, through advertisements, through your parents, through social media, through the people around you, and eventually, without even realizing it, you start chasing that image. You begin spending money on the appearance of success instead of building the foundation underneath it. That's the trap. And what makes it dangerous is that it rarely feels reckless. It feels responsible. It feels normal. It feels like you're finally becoming an adult. So let's walk through how each generation got pulled into it. Starting with Daniel. Daniel grew up in a world where owning a home was the ultimate symbol of success. His parents rented their entire lives. So when Daniel finally got approved for a mortgage in the 1980s, it felt like he had made it. A house wasn't just a house back then. It represented security, stability, respect. It meant you were winning. So Daniel bought the biggest house the bank said he could afford. And honestly, at the time, it actually worked. Property values exploded. His house became worth several times more than what he originally paid. On paper, Daniel became wealthy. But here's the problem. Most of his wealth is trapped inside the house itself. He doesn't have the pension he expected because his company restructured years ago. His retirement savings aren't nearly as strong as they should be. And now he's stuck in a strange position. He looks wealthy. But financially, things are tighter than people realize. Because the house was never supposed to be the entire plan. That was the trap. Daniel spent decades maintaining the image of wealth while underfunding the systems that would actually create freedom later in life. the large home, the renovations, the perfect lawn, the extensions. Meanwhile, retirement quietly stayed underbuilt. The appearance was solid. The foundation underneath it had cracks. Now let's talk about Melissa. Melissa's trap was quieter, more subtle, because it didn't happen through one massive decision. It happened through hundreds of tiny ones. Melissa came from the generation that believed hard work would continuously improve your lifestyle. And to be fair, for a while, it did. Every promotion increased her income. Every raise expanded her options. And slowly, without realizing it, her lifestyle expanded alongside her salary. New car, bigger house, private schools, more expensive vacations, better restaurants, nicer furniture. Nothing extreme, nothing irresponsible. Every decision made sense individually. That's what makes lifestyle creep so dangerous. You don't notice it happening. Your expenses simply rise at the same speed as your income. And eventually, despite earning more money than your parents ever did, your financial position barely improves. Because the gap between what comes in and what goes out stays almost exactly the same, just with bigger numbers. Melissa looks financially successful, and in many ways, she is. But she's also much closer to retirement than she realizes. And the math is tighter than it should be for someone who has earned well for 2 decades. Her generation was taught that success looked like upgrading your life. And so they did, again and again, month after month, direct debit after direct debit. Now let's move to Ethan. And honestly, millennials got hit with challenges previous generations never fully experienced. The 2008 financial crisis changed everything. An entire generation entered adulthood during economic chaos. Jobs disappeared, housing prices exploded, wages stagnated, and traditional milestones suddenly felt impossible. So many millennials stopped chasing traditional wealth altogether. Instead, they focused on experiences, travel, memories, living in the moment, and culture completely supported this mindset. Spend money on experiences, not things. You only live once. Make memories. See the world. Everywhere Ethan looked, people were saying the same thing. And to be fair, some of those experiences genuinely mattered. He made amazing memories, saw beautiful places, lived exciting moments. But slowly, something else happened. Experiences became a replacement for building assets. And because everyone around him normalized it, he never questioned it. Now at 38, Ethan has incredible stories, but very little invested, no property, limited retirement savings, and a quiet anxiety about the future that he tries to ignore by planning the next trip. The trap wasn't enjoying life. The trap was believing experiences alone could replace long-term financial building. It was still consumption, just rebranded as wisdom. And finally, we get to Ava. Gen Z is fascinating because they're financially smarter earlier than any generation before them. They know investing terms at 19 years old. They understand index funds. They talk about passive income and compound interest casually online. So you'd think they completely escaped the trap, but they didn't. The trap simply evolved again. For Gen Z, success is heavily tied to presentation, the aesthetic, the image, the setup, the lifestyle that looks good online, the apartment, the fashion, the gadgets, the perfectly organized desk, the coffee shop work session, the expensive skincare routine, the clean minimalist background. Everything becomes content. And here's the strange part. Many people are investing while simultaneously overspending on appearance. Ava invests every month. That's good. That genuinely puts her ahead of many people her age. But she also spends large amounts of money maintaining a lifestyle that communicates success online. And social media quietly rewards this behavior every single day. Likes, attention, validation, status. The trap for Gen Z isn't ignorance, it's performance. Looking financially successful can become more important than actually becoming financially secure. Talking about wealth, posting about investing, building the brand of financial success, while the actual numbers stay relatively small. Again, Ava isn't doomed, Not even close. At 24, she still has enormous time on her side. But the trap is there, waiting. The same trap every generation faced, just redesigned for the internet era. So now we come to the important question. How do people actually escape this? Because some people do. And when you study them, the pattern is surprisingly simple. They separate the signal from the substance. They stop trying to look rich first and focus on becoming financially strong first. That means making decisions that often look boring from the outside. Driving the older car longer, living below their means, skipping certain upgrades, buying fewer status symbols, delaying gratification, and consistently putting money into assets that grow quietly in the background. That's the part nobody celebrates online. Compounding is boring at first. Real wealth often looks unimpressive in the beginning. That's why so few people stick with it. Daniel could have kept the house while aggressively funding retirement alongside it. Melissa could have allowed her income to grow faster than her lifestyle. Ethan could have balanced experiences with steady investing. And Ava can still choose to build real financial strength before chasing the appearance of it. The formula itself is actually simple. Assets first, lifestyle second, not forever. Just long enough for the assets to start carrying the weight. That's what financially successful people eventually figure out. They stop prioritizing the image of a rival and start building the systems that create actual freedom. Because there's a huge difference between looking wealthy and being wealthy. One is performance, the other is security. And sadly, most people spend years chasing the performance. So here's the question I want you to think about honestly. Which version of the trap are you living in right now? Is it the house, the lifestyle upgrades, the endless experiences, the online aesthetic? Because once you can name the trap, you finally have the power to step outside of it. And if this video gave you something to think about, subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the most valuable financial lesson isn't learning how to make more money. It's learning how not to quietly lose the money you already have while trying to look successful to everyone else.